Lots of people have objected to antinatalism on the grounds that one cannot make claims about existence as a whole, that there are too many differences between individuals to make such claims. Now, it is, of course, very easy to make false generalizations about human life and animal life generally, but I think the reverse can often be true as well. That is, we can overstate differences between individuals. I think we can come to some general conclusions about the quality of human life, at least. And one way we can attempt to do this is by considering some important differences between pain and pleasure. Most people will readily accept, for example, that the greatest pain possible is more intense than the greatest pleasure possible. And what this means is that the most you can enjoy in life is less than the most you can suffer. And in this sense, life is like a game in which you can win up to, say, $10, but lose up to $100. Other things being equal, this is not a game worth playing. Intensity is one respect in which pains and pleasures differ, but it's not the only respect in which they differ. In addition to being more intense, pain also, on average, I think, lasts longer than pleasure. As David Benatar has pointed out, we all know that there is such a thing as chronic pain, but who has ever felt chronic pleasure? I imagine we've all, at some point in our life, experienced an intense pain that lasted for hours, maybe days. There are these sustained periods of pain, but no similar periods of pleasure, certainly nothing comparable. There's also the fact that whereas pleasure is something we generally must pursue in some way, pain is something we must constantly ward off. In other words, while we need to make an effort to feel pleasure, and this effort often involves pain, effort is needed to avoid pain. It's therefore much easier to feel pain than it is to feel pleasure. Of course, one can always say that their life has been good notwithstanding these disadvantages. But I think this view is not as easy to maintain as people think. Because again, if you ask people whether they'd want to relive an exact copy of the last, say, 20 years of their life, in other words, relive every last experience in the past 20 years of their life, I don't think you'll find very many people who would want to do that. Yet, if the joys, delights, and pleasures in life really did exceed its troubles, sorrows, and pains, as we are frequently told, it's not clear why we wouldn't. It seems, therefore, that all evidence from experience points to the fact that existence is a lot worse than we like to believe. And if we recognize that the quality of existence is such that we ourselves would not want to repeat the lot given to us, on what grounds do we justify imposing this on future generations?